Gentlemen, listen closely. In a world flooded with attention, likes, and surface-level connection, there's still one truth that cuts through the noise like a sword. When a woman truly loves a man, her actions speak louder than words ever could. Love isn't found in what's said in passing or in the heat of the moment. Love is found in consistency, in sacrifice, in what she chooses to do, not because she has to, but because something in her soul says, he's worth it. Let me be clear, you can't buy real love. You can't fake it. You can't force it. But when you're the kind of man who stands in his power, lives with purpose, and holds integrity like a crown on his head, that's when a woman gives you the kind of love most men only dream of. So how do you know if she really loves you? Look for these 6 things. Because a woman only does them for a man her heart has chosen. And if she does, brother, you're not just wanted. You're home. There's something uniquely powerful about a woman who carries herself with strength, confidence, and independence. The kind of woman who commands respect when she walks into a room. She doesn't flinch under pressure. She handles her business, protects her heart, and doesn't let the world see her vulnerable. She's learned to armor up, because life hasn't always been gentle. And she's become the kind of woman others look up to, not because she asks for attention, but because she's earned it. But here's the truth most people miss: when that kind of woman softens around a man, it's not a sign of weakness, it's the purest expression of love she knows. That softness isn't available to just anyone. She doesn't hand it out freely. She doesn't melt for compliments or bend for convenience. Her softness is sacred. She only offers it when she feels safe, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. When a woman who's used to being her own protector, her own provider, and her own peace suddenly starts letting her guard down around you, it means something far deeper than words can capture. It means you've passed the test most never even knew they were taking. See, a woman's softness is not her default, it's her reward for the man who makes her feel cherished. When she starts letting you see the side of her that cries at little things, that laughs without filters, that wants to be held even though she can carry the weight of the world, it's because her soul recognizes something in you. It sees safety. It sees understanding. It sees a place to rest. You'll notice the little shifts first. She'll speak with more tenderness when she talks to you. Her body language becomes more open. She'll lean into your presence instead of holding back. She'll tell you things she hasn't told anyone. Not because she's weak, but because she trusts you with the parts of her that are rarely seen. And that trust? It's not given lightly. It's not given fast. It's earned through consistency, emotional intelligence, and the way you handle her heart when she places it in your hands. Most men chase the tough woman because they're intrigued by her strength, but they have no idea how to handle her softness. They get overwhelmed when she starts expressing emotion. They think it's neediness when really, it's intimacy. They misunderstand her tears, misjudge her vulnerability, and run the moment she shows her heart. But the man who gets it, the man who realizes her softness is the gift, he's the one she'll never forget. Because for a woman who's learned to fight battles on her own, falling into softness is the greatest leap of faith. And she'll only take that leap for a man who makes her feel like she doesn't have to fight alone anymore. If she softens around you, it means you're not just someone she loves. You're someone she's safe to love. And that's rare. That's real. That's everything. When a woman truly loves a man, she doesn't just show up when things are easy, exciting, or convenient, she supports his mission. She sees beyond the moment. Beyond the surface. Beyond the temporary wins or setbacks. While many people will cheer for a man when he's already at the top, only a woman who loves him deeply will believe in him when he's still climbing, when the vision is blurry, and the outcome is uncertain. That kind of woman doesn't just stand beside the man when the spotlight is on, she stands in the shadows with him when no one else is clapping. Supporting a man's mission means she sees the bigger picture. She doesn't just focus on what he does, but why he does it. She connects with the deeper purpose that drives him, even if it doesn't yet pay the bills or turn heads. She invests emotionally in his potential, not just his current performance. She listens when he's frustrated, when he's doubting himself, when he's on the verge of giving up. Not to give him answers, but to remind him of who he is. Her presence is a mirror that reflects his greatness back to him when the world tries to diminish it. This kind of support is not passive. It's not about waiting quietly in the background. It's active. Intentional. She asks the questions no one else dares to ask. She challenges him to stay aligned with his values when temptation pulls him off course. She encourages rest when he's burning out and pushes him forward when he's settling. She understands that her role isn't to carry his dream for him, it's to stand in such a way that he remembers why the dream matters in the first place. A woman who supports your mission will make sacrifices without resenting you. Not because she's a doormat or lacks ambition of her own, but because love has taught her that real partnership is about lifting each other higher. She finds fulfillment in being part of something meaningful, not just glamorous. Her support isn't conditional on quick success. She doesn't measure your worth by how fast you win, but by how faithfully you keep going. And when things go wrong, when the mission hits a wall or you hit rock bottom, she doesn't abandon ship. She doesn't start looking for an exit. She doesn't say, "I told you so." Instead, she leans in. She helps you rebuild. She becomes your calm in the chaos, your strength in the silence. She reminds you that failure isn't fatal, and that the man she loves isn't defined by a single moment, but by the fire in his heart. That kind of woman, she's rare. And if you're wise enough to recognize her, you'll understand that her love isn't measured in kisses or compliments. It's measured in the quiet, consistent way she believes in you when the rest of the world forgets your name. When a woman truly loves a man, she doesn't walk away at the first sign of trouble. She fights for the relationship when it's hard, when communication breaks down, when egos clash, when life throws stress, distance, or misunderstanding into the mix. She doesn't give up simply because things aren't perfect. She knows that real love isn't about smooth sailing, it's about weathering storms and still choosing each other every single time. Her willingness to fight isn't a sign of dysfunction, it's a sign of deep emotional investment. She values the connection enough to protect it, even when it would be easier to shut down and walk away. When things get hard, it's easy to retreat. It's easy to say this is too much or maybe we're not meant to be. But love isn't about ease, it's about endurance. And a woman who loves you isn't going to disappear just because things aren't always romantic or ideal. She'll lean in when most would lean out. She'll raise uncomfortable truths, not to attack, but to heal. She'll challenge you, not because she's trying to control you, but because she wants to see the relationship grow. Her loyalty shows up in the effort she puts into difficult conversations, in the patience she exercises when tempers flare, and in the grace she gives when you fall short of being your best self. This kind of woman doesn't fight with you, she fights for you. There's a difference. She's not trying to win battles to feed her pride, she's trying to solve problems so that the relationship survives. Her fight isn't about blame, it's about resolution. It's about finding common ground, understanding what went wrong, and doing what it takes to get back to unity. She'll admit when she's wrong, but she also expects the same honesty and maturity from you. And when she sees that you're willing to work with her, not against her, she'll pour everything she has into keeping the relationship alive. It takes courage to love someone in their imperfect moments. It takes strength to choose connection when distance feels safer. But that's exactly what she does, she chooses love even when it hurts. She stays when the emotions are raw, when past wounds get triggered, when doubt creeps in. She doesn't just want the highlight reel, she wants the real thing. She's not there for just the good times, she's there for the grind, the healing, the rebuild. And sometimes, that fight is silent. It's not loud arguments or dramatic ultimatums. Sometimes it looks like her staying up late to talk through the hard stuff. Sometimes it looks like her biting her tongue when she wants to lash out. Sometimes it looks like her reaching for your hand in the middle of an argument, just to say, we're in this together. That quiet fight, the one rooted in love, in patience, in faith, it's the kind of strength only a deeply loving woman can show. And it's in those hard moments that her love proves it's not just emotional, it's unconditional. When a woman truly loves a man, she becomes intentional about the energy she brings into his life. She understands that love isn't just about romance or passion, it's about peace. Not silence. Not submission. But peace. A calmness in her presence that makes him feel grounded. A steadiness in her voice that makes him feel safe. When a woman prioritizes your peace, she chooses to be a place where your soul can breathe, where your mind can rest, and where your heart can trust. She doesn't thrive on chaos. She doesn't create unnecessary drama just to feel alive. Her love is mature. It's quiet strength. She listens more than she reacts. She communicates rather than accuses. She seeks to understand rather than to win. And when you've had a long day battling the world, she becomes the soft landing you didn't know you needed. Her presence is not another battlefield, it's your sanctuary. And that's something rare, because too many people confuse intensity with love, forgetting that the most powerful relationships are built on peace, not pressure. This kind of woman is mindful of her words. She knows they carry weight. She's not out to wound you with them when you're vulnerable. She doesn't weaponize your past mistakes in every argument. She speaks with purpose, not to dominate, but to heal. And when she challenges you, it's not to diminish you, it's to build you. She understands that men, especially those who carry heavy burdens, need space to think, process, and feel without being constantly questioned or criticized. So she gives you that space. Not out of distance, but out of respect. She pays attention to your emotional state. She can tell when something is off even if you haven't said a word. And rather than pressing or demanding answers right away, she offers comfort. She knows that sometimes love isn't in fixing, it's in simply being there. A woman who prioritizes your peace doesn't need to be the center of attention all the time. She doesn't pull you into emotional storms just to test your love. She doesn't drain your energy, she restores it. She learns your rhythms. She notices what brings you stress and does her best not to add to it. She doesn't make everything about her. She brings clarity when you feel confused, stability when you feel shaken, and encouragement when you feel like giving up. She celebrates your progress quietly, without making a spectacle, because her support isn't performative, it's real. And the truth is, you'll feel the difference. When she walks into the room, you'll exhale without even realizing it. When you talk to her, you won't feel the need to defend yourself. Her presence alone reminds you that everything's going to be okay. That's what peace feels like. And that's what a loving woman becomes, not a perfect woman, not a passive one, but a powerful force of calm in a world that too often demands you be hard all the time. When she loves you, she chooses to be your peace. And that's a love worth protecting. When a woman is truly in love, something shifts in the way she gives. Not because she's obligated, not because she's trying to prove anything, but because love naturally opens her heart, and with that comes generosity. Real, meaningful generosity. Not just with gifts or grand gestures, but with the things that matter most, her time, her touch, and her presence. These are things she doesn't offer lightly. These are parts of herself she reserves only for the man who makes her feel seen, valued, and safe. When she gives them freely, it's a sign you've touched something deep within her. Her time becomes yours not because she has nothing better to do, but because she chooses you. In a world that pulls her in every direction, career, family, friends, responsibilities, she makes space for you. She prioritizes moments with you, even in the chaos. Whether it's sitting in silence together after a long day, going on spontaneous errands, or just sharing a meal, her willingness to be present says, "You matter. I want to be near you, not just around you." It's not about constant entertainment or always having something to do, it's about connection. And when a woman gives you her time, especially consistently, it means your presence nourishes her soul. Her touch becomes more intentional. It's not always overt or sexual. Sometimes it's the gentle way she fixes your collar. The way her hand lingers on your back as you walk through a crowded place. The way she curls up next to you at night, not because she needs to, but because it brings her peace. Touch is a language of love, and when a woman is in love, her body speaks it fluently. Through touch, she says, I'm here. I'm with you. You're safe with me. And those little moments of physical closeness, those subtle, affectionate gestures, say more than words ever could. Then there's her presence. That quiet, grounding energy she brings into the room. When she loves you, she's there with you, not distracted, not checked out, not just physically present but emotionally tuned in. She listens with her eyes, with her posture, with her silence. She doesn't just hear your words. She feels them. Her presence isn't about controlling the space, it's about filling it with warmth and emotional availability. You'll notice you feel calmer when she's around. More understood. More like yourself. Because her love isn't a performance. It's a presence. A steady, consistent presence that makes you feel like you're finally home. And none of this is accidental. It's a reflection of her heart. When a woman gives you her time, her touch, and her presence, she's giving you access to the most intimate parts of her world. She's saying, I want to be close to you. I want you to feel loved, not just occasionally, but constantly. That's the kind of love you don't chase. That's the kind of love you protect. Because once she starts giving like that, it's no longer casual, it's real. It's love in its most generous form. When a woman truly loves a man, her love isn't rooted in perfection, it's anchored in truth. She sees him completely, not just the version he presents to the world. She sees the cracks in his armor, the weight of his insecurities, the fears he hides behind his confidence. She knows about the past he doesn't always talk about, the mistakes that still haunt him, the habits he's still working to outgrow. And despite all that, she stays. Not blindly. Not naively. But consciously, every single day, she chooses him again. This kind of love doesn't flinch at flaws. It doesn't deny their existence, nor does it romanticize them. Instead, it holds them gently. She doesn't ignore what's broken, she understands it. And through that understanding, she offers something rare, acceptance. Not the kind that enables stagnation, but the kind that inspires growth. Because when someone sees your darkest corners and doesn't run, it makes you want to become better, not because you're ashamed, but because you're loved in a way that makes healing feel safe. A woman who loves you like this doesn't expect you to be perfect. She expects you to be real. She doesn't need you to always have the answers or never fall short. What she needs is honesty, humility, and effort. She respects the man who owns his flaws more than the one who hides behind a mask. And because she's done her own inner work, she doesn't see your imperfections as a threat to the relationship, she sees them as part of the journey. Her love is rooted in reality, not fantasy. This doesn't mean she'll tolerate disrespect or repeated harm. True love also includes boundaries. But when a woman is committed to you, she's not constantly keeping score or waiting for the next reason to leave. She gives you room to be human. She gives you room to grow. And in those moments when you're disappointed in yourself, she reminds you that you're still worthy. That you're still enough. That love doesn't disappear when you stumble, it deepens when you rise again. Her love doesn't change with the seasons. It doesn't vanish when you're at your lowest. In fact, sometimes it's in those very moments, when you're doubting yourself, when you're failing, when you feel least lovable, that her love shows its true strength. She holds your hand when you're broken. She believes in you when you don't believe in yourself. And when you're ready to give up, she whispers, keep going. I'm still here. To be seen in your fullness, to be truly known, and still chosen, day after day, is one of the most powerful experiences a man can have. It softens you. It strengthens you. It changes the way you show up in the world. Because once you realize that someone sees your whole truth and loves you not in spite of it but with it, you stop performing and start living. That's what her love does. It frees you to be exactly who you are, and invites you to become even more. So if you ever wonder whether a woman truly loves you, don't just listen to what she says, watch what she does. Real love isn't loud, but it's powerful. It shows up in the quiet sacrifices, the small moments of care, The way she chooses you, not just in your strength, but in your struggle. When she softens around you while staying strong with the world. When she supports your mission, not just your moments. When she fights for the relationship, even when it's hard. When she protects your peace in a world full of pressure. When she gives you her time, her touch, her presence. And when she sees your flaws, and still chooses you every single day. That's not convenience. That's not infatuation. That is love. Real. Raw. Relentless. And if you're lucky enough to have a woman like that, don't take her for granted. Water that love. Rise to meet it. Because when a woman gives you this kind of devotion, she's not just giving you her heart, she's giving you her life. And that's the kind of love you don't just receive. You honor it. Every day.